Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Divine Light. I just want to begin this day, because this is historical, I would say, that men and women come together in ma'at and dialogue. So we want to begin in harmony. We want to begin asking the Creator to be in the midst of this wonderful event. And we also want to call upon our ancestors to join us. So I would like for you all to start. We can say it simultaneously and call upon our ancestors, the one that you would like for us to join us today. Because when we call upon their names, we make them alive again. Just like when we call upon our issues, our problems, we bring them to life. And then we solve those issues. So we're going to call upon our ancestors right now. Everybody call out.
Robert.
Hetharu, Sekemet.
Tahuti.
All right, Ta'ert. Come on, keep it coming. All the ancient ancestors, we would like them to join us today, because we know in Kemet, the spiritual guardians were always, if they had a disagreement, they always began it and ended it in Ma'at. Ma'at. So I'm going to ask all of you all to inhale and breathe out Ma'at. And inhale and breathe out Ma'at. So divine harmony and love, and keep inhaling. When things get tense today and you start breathing from your thoracic instead of your diaphragmatic breaths, I want y'all to just put your hand over your stomach and take a deep inhale. Let's do it again. Inhale, and this time breathe out. Ashe.
Just kind of make some clarity here, because I've been receiving a lot of negativity about what we're doing. Some people have been saying, well, you guys are just talking, everybody's just talking, we tired of talking, talking. Well, that's not what we're doing here. I mean, we are doing that, but we're doing without doing. Because what is happening is that it was a brother. Where's my brother at? Erashan. Somebody tell, there he is, my brother. See, you two conscious brothers. We got into a conversation last night about something that had happened, and the conversation escalated to the point where, it was a confrontation. Now, we love each other, right? But how did that come in the midst of the hate, the harm that we wanted to do to each other? How did that come in the midst of what we were doing? And it made me really meditate on it, because like he mentioned to me, man, we should be ashamed of ourselves. And he's right, because I went home feeling ashamed, right? So I'm thinking, I'm building with another brother this morning on the phone, one of my good trusted brothers, and he helped me see. He says, you know what, Ernest, you ain't got to stress. Just look at the vision that you have, paint the vision. That's all, right? Just paint the vision. And it helped me see that we use language to divide us, right? We use language to create categories to divide us, right? Brother, sister, division, right? We use language to do all of the things to try to say what we're trying to say, right? Instead of using language to paint the picture. You can't argue with the picture, right? So let's be like our ancestors and write on the temple walls the pictures, right? As opposed to using the language to cut people up and so on and so forth. So that's why we're here today. We're here to paint the pictures of what we feel about this movie and what we think about this movie. Whether or not to give this movie power or to take away the power of the movie, the impact of the movie. So that's why we're here, for you haters. Right? So with that being said, I just want to briefly, before we get into the panelists, and I hate to be political, but I just want to bring this brother up, and I'm not trying to be like, anyway, but I was impressed with this brother last night, and I'm not on no political mission, you know what I'm saying? But I just want you guys to know this brother and be concentrating on this brother, because this brother has a beautiful mind. I want to bring up Brother Brian Sleets. He's going to give us about 3 minutes, all right? If you go on.
The first couple of questions in, I'm going to open it up to the floor and hear you guys' opinions. So the first question I will ask is, how does the movie capture the book and play?
I think based on the subject matter as to what Tyler Perry had to deal with, when you talk about plays and different mediums that we enjoy as far as film or television or books, each one has a different flow to it. So based on what he had to work with and being true to the subject matter of the author's original piece. I think he did the best that he could with it. However, dealing with some of the other issues, it's somewhat hard to do that, considering when you have a play, you're looking at acts and you're looking at different pieces, but if you're looking at a movie, it all has to flow together, because in your mind, you don't stop to say, well, this is the end of one act, this is the beginning of another. Even though it may be on the screen, but your mind doesn't flow like that. So based on what he had to work with, I think that it stayed as true as it possibly could to the book as well as the play.
Anybody else?
Well, I haven't read the book, but I'm told that it is similar to the script, the play is, and I didn't see the movie in the play. You know, I mean, the play only merely suggests some of the things that happened in the movie, and Tyler Perry took it to the next threshold. It really, the things, they just weren't. I mean, they weren't the same. The book and the movie. This seems like some of Tyler Perry's stuff. His normal mode of delivery of our story. You know. I don't think because I mean, not, like as I said, none of the things that happened in the play, as the play was a actual poem, and these men were not really even in the play. I don't think he followed the script.
So, as a follow-up, do you think that hurt or helped his overall goal?
If the goal was to give a rendering of the play, I think he failed miserably.
My brother O'Neal, how would you respond to that?
I haven't seen the play. I do appreciate the film. I think it was a great film. It was poetic. That's the first thing that I took from the film. That it was very, very, very poetic as a film, but not seeing the play as it relates to the film. Wouldn't have a consensus on that. So I do. If the play was all poetry, then I think he got pretty close. Mixing a movie or a film, a large screen film, there was a lot of great poems, and they helped tell a lot of the story. So.
Anyone else?
Well, in my opinion, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, bro.
In my opinion, I remember the play, and the play is quite different from the movie, and I could really see the difference in the time frame from the time that the play was actually done, aired, and the time frame of now. So I could see that there could have been a challenge, and I can understand what Brother Patai is saying as well. At the same time, it appears to me that the play had a little bit more of a poetic flow. At the same time, the movie seemed to accentuate a little bit more. It gave you a much more visual effect of the way things could have happened, and in this modern time. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Thank you. Next question I will ask, simple question. Should black men see and support this movie?
I think they should see the film. It kind of gives you like a good general knowledge. I know I learned some things from the film from a male's perspective. Kind of playing some of those roles as like you're trying to date women and you never really see. A lot of times you're kind of like out on the hunt or you're searching, but you never really like hear it from the person that you're trying to find out. You never hear those backline stories. Like for example, I forgot her name in the film, but the sister that was kind of promiscuous, the one that was kind of sleeping around. Tangi, right. So you got Tangi in the film, and I remember at a certain point we looked for Tangis. And we don't, you know, when you find a Tangi, you never find out like what's going on and what's the backline story, why is she like this, and the film kind of help you understand like, okay, it's a storyline behind that. It's a lot going on. So maybe in a situation like that, where if you're in that mode where you're out on the hunt, you might take an opportunity when you meet a Tangi where you might as a male, you might want to say something encouraging to help Tangi instead of just being another person, you know, that's, you know, going through the process. Because the guy that laughed at her and he left, that was cool, but he could have did more. You know, once he noticed the problem, he thought she was a problem. I mean, it was a, you know, it was a lot that I learned just from that character alone, but a lot of the other characters. Because you met those women before, but I've never seen or heard their stories before. So I would say support.
I think it's a lot to understand from the story, however, as far as support, but support from the ideology that you want to be able to assist. But let me say this, if we can kind of cut across the middle, and what I mean by that is that it doesn't really matter what people call you, it matters what you answer to as it relates to African American men. Because when we talk about a lot of Tyler Perry's movies, you know, you get into the, oh, he's male bashing, and we really haven't seen very positive role models as it relates to men. Okay, that may be true. However, the light still doesn't shine upon the men who are doing well, the men who are taking care of their children, the men who are excelling in their lives. So if that particular part doesn't relate to you, don't accept it. Like Ernest said earlier, we're going to eat the fish and we're going to throw away the bones. So if that particular piece doesn't apply to you, then don't even worry about it. As far as black men supporting, now that's key, because when you talk within, if all of the men here can be very honest, when you talk in the circles of men, men say, well, you know what, if you really look at it, all of our women have problems. But we're going to love them and we're going to deal with it anyway. And I'm going to love you and I'm going to support you and I'm going to be here with you in spite of. But that's a mindset that you have to get to. Because if you look at it from the point, well, you know what, they got problems and I'm going to throw them all in a bag and throw them in the lake, then you'll never be able to grow and get to the point where you need to be. Because the fact of the matter is that I can't live without this woman over here, this woman can't live without this man over here, because we're all together in this thing. And once you get to the point of knowing and understanding that and being able to embrace it in a point that's not confrontational, by saying, well, all the brothers ain't no good, all the women ain't no good, then we'll always be at this Mexican standoff, never being able to get to the next point where we all need to be.
I think that you said, should black men see this? It's going back to Ernest's statement of